Hello guys, welcome to a new video on Tower of God New World. And in this video, I'm going to talk about the collab that we're going to get on Wednesday. And I will focus only on this topic. In the live stream, they talked about a lot of different systems that they're implementing, the archive expansion, the floors uh, above 134, etc. But all of those things I will cover once they release the translated slides. For now, I will just focus on the collab alone. And yeah, I will just start by talking about the color choice that I think is the worst decision that they made overall. Then I'm going to talk about the uh, IP that they're doing the collab with, what I think about it, and then we're going to look at like rates of the banners and then the kits and something like that. I won't go too in detail on the kits because we only have some rough translations of sorts. We don't have the official ones. They didn't post the kits yet, and they will probably post them tomorrow, but I won't be making a video on that. I will release white character review tomorrow. And yeah, I think I will just cover all their kits and stuff in the during the live stream that I will do on Wednesday, which I think I will schedule for like 6 a.m. in the morning here. And yeah, which is Central European time. So yeah, that's more or less my plan, and we'll see. So talking about the collab, we're going to get two SSR Plus units and two SSR units. They're going to be split into two different banners, as we can see here from this picture. The first one we're going to get this Wednesday, and then the other one after 2 weeks. And yeah, this means that the collab is going to last for one whole month. I was hoping to get all of them in the same banner somehow, but that's not happening. And from my point of view, since they decided to make this choice of splitting it, it could have been a good idea to change the colors. So the first half would have whatever color, the second half a different one. But they instead released all of them of the red color, which is insanity to me. It makes no sense. I mean, I wasn't like, I mean, if we go chronologically speaking, we have green, we have blue, red was kind of expected, and I think a lot of you guys were expecting it. I wasn't. I was expecting purple plus yellow for the sole reason that we are getting like 4 units, and that purple only has 4 SSR plus units. We just got white, that's true, but he was the fourth one. So, yeah, I mean, and the same could be said for red. We just got Albelda too, so didn't make a lot of sense to release more units. And red already has what, like 3, 4, 5, 6. Do they already have 6 units? No, probably they only have 5, but still, they already had a lot of units. And it would have been fine if they decided to do like 2 units red, 2 units purple. Would have made a lot of sense. Would have been fine, even though yellow is the one that like is the color that's most in need of good units. But releasing 2 more SSR plus units of the red element is really a strange decision from my point of view. I cannot make it make sense. Let me know in the comments what you think about it, but I think this is the biggest disappointment that I have here for this collab. So yeah, let me know in the comments what you think about this. And in terms of the actual webtoon or IP that they decided to do the collab with, I never heard of Teenage Mercenary before. I talked about it with a colleague of mine that is reading a lot of manhwas, and usually I just skip anything that's not fantasy. I only read like whatever it is, but as long as it is fantasy, I kind of read it. If it's too realistic, like school life or like war, guns and stuff, I always skip them. I don't care. If there is no fantasy element to it, I just ignore it. But this colleague of mine told me that this is worth reading, and the first half especially is really good, then it kind of falls off. So this morning, while I was driving to work, I figured I'd read some chapters. I read like 25 of them, and I will say it's really, really good. I wasn't expecting it to be this interesting, and yeah, I kind of like it. So I have no complaints on the IP. Obviously, I would have liked like solo leveling or the slime one or whatever, like God of High School. Any of those, I would have liked them more, probably. Also, I think guns, mercenary, that like don't really work well in the Tower of God world. Even though we have units like I think she was called Lifa or something in the Lopobia family that was using a sniper, and I'm sure there are more that I'm not really remembering. So there are guns. I wouldn't say it's a major part of it. So I don't really see it fitting that well, but it's okay. It's acceptable. At the end of the day, it's fine. What I really cannot understand is just the color choice that they went for. So yeah, that's just my first opinion on this whole thing. Let me know what you think about that in the comments. Now, if we go over the actual banners, so as we mentioned, we have two separate banners, and they increase the rates. So it's 1% for the SSR Plus and 1.5% for the SSR. It was 0.5 for the SSR Plus and 1% for the SSR in the previous ones. So the rates are increased. I mean, the total percentage has not, because it's still at 2.5%, which was the total for the like previous 3 units. So it's not the best of deals, I will say that, because before with the same amount of resources you would have maxed 3 units more or less. Now you're maxing two, kind of thing. So from my point of view, it's kind of gotten more expensive in general. But I mean, you're pulling for 4 units, so it kind of makes sense. They're going to give us, I believe, around 200 free tickets per banner, so 400 total. And yeah, the amount of summons that you can expect to actually have to do to max out the SSR Plus unit should be around 1500, I would say, because now you only need like 3000 suspendium for 30 pulls and you have a PT of 300. So we can say with 1500 you get 15 copies plus the free one, because we get one free copy of every single unit, but that would have been the next image kind of thing. So you get the reward is the SSR Plus for the missions, and then you also get copies of the SSR units for free. So we get one copy of each, that's a given. For the SSR Plus, you will need, like, let's say you do 1500 summons, you should get 15 copies plus 5 from PT, plus the free one. It's around 21, you need 22. So let's increase it by another 100. So let's say you need 1600 summons. That's 160k suspendium. Well, actually, we need to remove the 200 free tickets. So 140k per banner. That's a total of around 280k to, on average, max out the SSR Plus unit in both banners. If you only want one of the two, is 140k. Up to you. That's just the average. You could be luckier, you could be more unlucky. Up to you. There is not much we can do about that. So yeah, this is more or less the rates. I would say the cost is more or less in line with what I had in mind, because before it was around 180k ish to max all 3 units, more or less. Now it's a bit less per banner, but it's because obviously we don't need to we don't have a 0.5 rate on the SSR Plus, so it's a bit easier. But yeah, still quite expensive. So up to you if you want to go for these units. I haven't really read their kit that well. Is not clear from the translation. I don't know what, like how good they could end up being. I would say Alicia could be, which is the second SSR plus, could be a bit better, but I also don't expect much, and I will say why once we go over the kits. So yeah, I will cover whether I think free-to-play should invest in collabs or not. Just remember, you will get one free copy of each, so no problem on that front. And you can always use the limit break stones to finish them off if you really have no other option, given you were spending suspendium, so not really for free-to-play players. But okay, at least the SSR ones you can kind of reliably finish off if you just miss out on a few copies, no problem. The SSR plus ones will be a bit trickier, but okay. So now we can quickly go over the skills and the roles of the new units, and then we can just close the video probably. There is not much else to say. So the protagonist, which is Ijin, I think Ijin. I don't know how to, because Ijin doesn't really sound that well, but okay. So Ijin. And this guy is going to be, again, red. We already know all of them are red. It's going to be a warrior. And again, warriors, if they don't do something like they did for white, we cannot expect much. So, well, this is the design, fine. We can start, I'd say, from the passive, which should be this one, and we don't have uh, all of it. So not a lot of reason to really cover it, but okay. We can see that at the beginning of the battle, he has something that starts, and it seems to be that the enemy attribute damage per ally through bonding with a colleague increases by 20%. This makes no sense to me, like in a sentence. I don't know if the bond is with a single unit, if it's only with the collab units. I don't really know how this bond is going to work. If it's just every single ally is considered to have a bond with him, and that would increase up to 100% or maybe 80 if it's not counting himself of some sort of attribute damage thing. No clue. But the second part is a bit clearer. So the damage you receive for every surviving ally, except yourself, so up to 40%, is reduced by 10%. So up to 40% damage reduction. This is what it seems. And then physical percentage per loved Magu. What the hell is that? By 10%. Maybe this could be a 40% increase in damage if he's dealing physical damage. I don't know. Of one of his skill, or could it even be that the translation is just wrong because it's missing a part, as we see from the scroll bar? So I don't know. Then we have the skill that is supposedly going to use at the beginning of the fight. Is going to move forward and kind of stop in the middle of the enemy team, and is invincible while doing this dash. Then it's going to deal AoE damage and stun for 4 seconds, blocking also stamina regen, which should be energy regen, for 4 seconds. This is pretty good. And then after using the skill, is going to avoid every single enemy skill unconditionally for 4 seconds. This is pretty good. The energy block alone is massive from my point of view. And if this doesn't scale, which I don't think it will with levels, and as we can see here is also level 1, so not bad. Like level 1, 4 second of stamina block is already worth a really good ranking from my point of view. You can just put him in the middle of the fight, he's going to dash, stun in an AoE, and block energy. Really, really good. So I like this part. We don't really care about the damage. We don't really care. Well, I mean, the stun is fine, but already the fact that you're blocking stamina is, or energy, I think, is really good. So yeah, really, really nice. Then we have the other active skill. It's just going to deal damage on nearby enemies for 10 seconds. And then I don't know. I don't know what the hell I'm reading. But okay, while using the skill with the defensive posture, you're immune to the above conditions. I don't know what this is. In general, it seems like a DOT damage, so damage over time, and then some sort of status effect immunity for these 10 seconds. This just seems like an initial 400%, then 10 seconds of 100% damage per second, and during those 10 seconds, you're immune to status effects. If that's the case, that's pretty solid. We also need to see which kind of DOT is that, like that is, if it's bleed or not, is not too important, but it could be for some bosses or whatever. Overall, not bad. Then we have the special move. He's going to deal damage to enemies around him 5 times and then detonate a grenade that is going to deal 400% damage for 3 seconds. I don't know if it's every second or whatever. Uh, and then bleed for 6 seconds for an additional 100% every second kind of thing. So there is a lot of damage here and a lot of damage over time. Not too bad. We don't know anything about exclusive equipment. We don't know anything about Revolution. I will say this effect alone, this 4-second energy block, is already promising in and of itself. So good. I don't want to spend too much time because, as I mentioned, we're going to see them in a couple of days. I'm not going to cover them tomorrow, so I'm just going to quickly go over them, and I will try not to spend too much time. The second unit is 003. I still haven't seen her in the manhwa, so I cannot tell much about her. She's going to be a support, and let's see what she does. We will start again from the passive. She's going to target the highest damage allies, probably the highest attack ally, and attack their own. I have no idea what it's saying. It's like should attack the enemy with the highest attack and ignore everyone on the path until it reaches the destination or the target. Well, whatever, doesn't matter. This passive is so long and we're missing half of it. I don't really know. This initial part is just focusing, I think. And uh, the enemy that has been hit by her attack, oh, maybe it will give you and your highest attack ally this ability to target enemies that have the highest attack, something like that. This could be interesting. And it seems like if the enemy is hit by you or your highest attack ally, they are going to be in a state of vigilance and don't know what happens. So we can just move on. Then she's going to have a sort of self buff. For 15 seconds, she's going to fire special bullets with the highest damage allies and their own whatever. I have no idea what's happening. Really, to be honest, this translation is so bad, I don't know. Could be that she's dealing damage or adding damage on top of your highest damage unit that maybe, I don't know, ignores defense by 30%. Could be. I have no idea. If that was the case, amazing. But really, I cannot tell. Then we have the second active skill. She's going to request the air support and deal damage, bombing damage in an area, attacking 5 times, stunning the enemy for 3 seconds, and reducing the power, night power. I don't know what night power is supposed to be, but yeah, they're going to deal less damage by 20% for 10 seconds. Yeah, well, not too bad, but I don't really know. There are also the videos. I don't know if we're going to have a look at them. Maybe yes, but it's really not that clear, unfortunately. Then we have the special move. It seems like she's going to stand still and fire in a sort of straight line, dealing 20 instances of damage that deals 80% each on all enemies, something like that. And while using this skill, you're immune to status abnormal. Also, you're immune to status effects, and you cannot go below 1 HP, something like that. So this stamina won't go below 1 makes me think that the stamina that we saw in Ijin is not energy, but it's actually HP. So it could be that it's blocking HP recovery on the enemies for like the first 4 seconds, and then every time he uses the active skill, which is also fine. I'd like the energy stop a bit more, but it's probably going to be HP recovery block at this point. So yeah, she cannot go down and she cannot be stunned while this special move is on the field, which makes me think these 20 instances will take a bit to actually proc. Is okay overall, doesn't seem like there are really a lot of good supporting capabilities other than this one, if it's actually a 30% defense ignore, and maybe the passive will have some more, but we don't know much at the moment. Then we have the other male guy here, the SSR ranged. Here he has a knife, but he's somehow ranged. So we have the passive is going to, I don't know. I'm not even going to try with the first sentence. And then every third basic attack is going to aim at the enemy weak point and is going to increase your own what? 5% for 110 seconds, up to 5 stacks. Guys, I really don't know what I'm reading, so I'm going to give up soon. Then he has some sort of close quarter combat, something like that, and he's going to teleport to the nearest enemy that has a CC applied to them, and then he's going to damage them, also dealing damage behind the enemy, kind of thing, and then returns to the original position. And then we're missing the last part of the skills, so I'm not even going to try the last part. Then we have some sort of damage increase after reloading, and then I don't know who is picked as whatever. Mm, for now, not too fond of this kind of unit, and also an SSR ranged unit without utility, which is not supposed to have utility, is an SSR ranged unit, which probably means he's a DPS, but I don't believe in SSR DPSs anymore, so I wouldn't expect much from him anyway. So this is going to be a sort of whatever shot that is going to deal damage on an enemy within range. So it's sort of an AoE that's going to deal damage over time and then deal some more damage. There is like jolting. I don't know, guys. So far his kit doesn't look great. I might be wrong. Might be some really crazy stuff that was mistranslated, but okay. Then we have Alice. She could be a really good unit, and well, I'm not going to say anything crazy, but she has max HP damage, which is not capped, it seems. But my issue with that is it seems a bit low. Now, I'm sure it will scale, but even if it does scale, it's not too high, so I wouldn't be too excited about her just yet. But let's start with the passive. We have already a sort of conceal, so she's going to be concealed for 2 seconds at the start of the battle, and then hide for 2 seconds every 12 seconds. And your own attack, sales, whatever, are fixed. So you're always going to attack the enemy that's the furthest away from you. And then your own attack are going to ignore other enemies on the path and always reach the target. In addition, a mortal or active enemy that restores the health of another enemy, and then something. So there is some block here. In the video, she blocked the heal of a blank, which is pretty solid. If she can counter healers, it is going to be really good. So yeah, interesting. Really interesting mechanic. I like the passive. Really nice focus. We don't have a unit at the moment that's targeting the enemy that's furthest away. Other than white, it does have that, but every time he's going to keep on moving around the map, so the enemy that's furthest away from him is always changing, which is not the case for Alice, so really good. Then we have the other active skill. She's going to again attack the same furthest away enemy and snipe them for 300%. She's going to load this attack for 3 seconds, and for every second, she's going to increase the damage factor, the damage coefficient by 200%. I don't like it. We are missing half of it, which could make it better, as we can see here from the scroll bar. But standing in place for 3 seconds for an active skill, I don't necessarily like it. So I don't know how to feel about it, and also the total damage is not that insane, like it's 900%, and I have to stand still for 3 seconds for a 900% attack? Nah, I don't think so. So hopefully the second half is better, but this first one is kind of trash. Then we have the second active skill. She's going to increase, I don't know, in the I don't know, and then snipe the enemy that's farthest away. If the attack is a crit hit, she's going to deal 10% of the target max HP. This is level 1. I could expect this to be 20%. Still, I'm not going to say this is a lot because this is an active skill, will have a long cooldown. I don't feel like this 20% is relevant at all, unless the first part is kind of increasing this damage. I have no idea, but we'll see. Then we have the special move. This is also quite interesting. She's going to throw a smoke screen to the farthest away enemy again, and they're going to have some sort of percentage reduction, 80% reduction to I don't know what, probably accuracy reduction, and they will also be blinded for 5 seconds. And after that, she's going to, I don't know, with some follow-up damage, dealing 15% of the target's maximum HP when hit. And this 15% is again level 1, could go up to 30%. But if we think that Kunadan has 60% on the special move, then I don't think she's going to be comparable, but could be really good. I don't know, unfortunately. We will have to see when we have the actual numbers and we have the revolution and this is achievement. She has potential, definitely nice, but I wouldn't expect crazy things from her right now. I know that whenever we see max HP percentage is nice, but we only have that on an active skill and the special move. We don't have that on the basic attack, like for example, a Kunadan has or a Vivi. So I wouldn't like overrate her just yet. She could still be awesome, but we don't know. Now, let me just see how long the video is already. It's 20 minutes. Yeah, I think it's quite long. I wasted a lot of time. I'm sorry, guys. But I think we can still watch the videos, not all of it. It doesn't make a lot of sense. We can just quickly increase here. Just look at the animation. I would say the model, they could have made it better for an SSR Plus. I know that is kind of like this in the manhwa, but the details in the manhwa are better from my point of view. We're going to skip the skills, we don't really care. There is also an additional skin. Let's see if they're showing it. I don't know if I like this skin that much, but okay, whatever. Let's just move on and have a look at the actual kit. If they stop talking and actually show it. So let's see, it's going to dash in the middle of the enemy team, kind of, or more or less like in the opposing position, so around there, yes. Everyone is attacking him, but he's going to dodge the skills for 5 seconds. I didn't notice if they had an... Actually, did they? No, they are... Yes, there are buff icons. So let me just have a quick look if it's HP recovery block or if it is the, damn it, I cannot see it, or if it's the energy. Too many pop-ups where the icons should be, I cannot really tell. Ah, well, fine, whatever. This one is the special move, pretty cool to look at. And yeah, there's not much else that we can say about this unit. We can just move on to the next video, which is Agent 003 or Mercenary 003, whatever. Not too bad, but I will say the design is a bit plain from my point of view, which is something you would expect from a realistic manhwa, but okay. Not bad for support, but okay, let's have a look. I don't think there is much we can understand here. You can already see some attack buffs on Ijin. I don't know if they're coming from uh, 003 or from himself. No idea. But yeah, I don't know what to expect animation wise because they're pretty plain. We don't really see much detail. Just shooting, 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 and then okay. Okay, this is more of a barrage. This is the special move that does like 20 hits. It should be on all enemies, but it seemed pretty narrow. I don't think it can hit multiple enemies. But okay, acceptable, kind of. Now let's have a look at this guy instead. Okay, maybe I skipped it too much. I don't like his design either. Mm, whatever. We're going to skip the skill section. Special move animation, pretty cool. Let's just see. Again, unfortunately, they are showing them all together, so it's difficult to distinguish the actual design of different units, but it's okay. So here is just shooting his pistol. Wow. Pretty plain and boring. Sort of self-buff. Wow. Okay, this is a bit more interesting, and then there is also damage over time. Nice. I would say this area lasts for a very long time. He is also supposed to have a sort of teleport. Okay, yeah, this one. Yeah, well, meh, doesn't matter. Let's go over the next one. So we have also Alice, and then the video can be considered over, I would say. Not too bad. We have a sniper. Pretty cool. The design is a bit better than the other units, but still nothing too exceptional, if I may say so. Then we have the sort of stealth suite or whatever. Not too bad. It is definitely a bit of an improvement over the base version. Still, I don't think I will buy these skins. I don't really care. Can you stop talking and just show the video, even though we just saw it before, but it didn't use our special move? But is it me or it hasn't moved even one bit? Probably still loading on my side. I believe so, yeah, okay. So let's go back a little bit. Should be around here. Okay. Then we have the concealed. That's going to proc immediately. Yes, she's going to be concealed, which again could be the case that we're going to run Upgrund on her. I don't know. We'll have to see. Okay. This is the skill that charges for 3 seconds. Concealed again. Look, Blanc was going to cast an heal and then she stunned and stopped, which is really good. Special move, smoke screen, and then sniper like one single shot, and Blanc is dead. I don't like this. I will say again, too much time unless the second part of the active skill is really good. I think it's too much time wasted. But overall, she has potential. I didn't see any sort of survivability mechanic other than the conceal, and I would doubt the conceal will be enough, but who knows? Again, we'll see in December at this point for this unit. And yes, guys, this is more or less this is more or less all I would say. Let me know your thoughts on this collab in the comment section down below. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to see like what you think about the color choice and the IP that they collabed with, and which of the 4 units you are most excited about. And yeah, I will see you guys tomorrow on the Whites video, and then on Wednesday during the live stream. So, bye bye.